We are the Nerd Eternal Network.
Hello, and welcome to Powers on Payroll here on the Nerd Eternal Network. I'll be your GM for the day, Jason, and with me as usual, we've got Mike as Whippet.
Hello.
Curtis as the Influencer.
Hola.
Marigold as the Boogeyman.
Thank y'all for joining us.
And Taylor as Skater Boy.
Howdy.
Now, who remembers where we left off last time?
We achieved global. Pretty sure.
All right. All that came through was we achieved global.
Oh, I think.
And it cut.
Global peace. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
We did take on
the last thing I
Go ahead, Curtis.
We took on Catalyst and survived.
Mm-hmm.
He took all the metahumans that were being experimented on and took them to join his little cult.
It's more of a foundation.
And we had some debriefings back at the office, but I don't remember exactly where we left off.
The last thing I have recorded is Boogeyman fielding a phone call from the Rook.
Yes.
Yes, that happened. She was very upset, and Boogeyman walked her through all those very scary emotions, hoping she didn't find a way to just materialize and break all of his fingers.
And toes. She's very thorough. It'd be fingers and toes.
Yeah, I'm not sure she would have stopped there.
Yeah, head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Knees and toes.
Damn it.
All right.
Taylor, you got anything to add?
I think that's about where we left off, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I can't think of anything too major.
Influencer had a debriefing with Offerman and also handed over the data that he collected surreptitiously collected from Evil Co. Shadow Lu or whatever it is. I do apologize.
Whoa.
Shadow.
Yeah, that is the that is the correct pronunciation. But the place y'all were Ryan Pharmaceutical Research.
Ryan Pharmaceutical Research.
Yeah, Shadow Core was the previous place that Catalyst had attacked. Well, at that point, the MDM had attacked.
We're also encouraged to take advantage of the therapy services.
Very much so.
Offered.
In the next couple of days, does anybody go and talk to a counselor or a therapist?
I mean, it's a doctor. Skater Boy finds doctors important, but Skater Boy also has another conversation he needs to make sure to have with something else.
All right, who's Skater Boy need to talk to?
The weapon that is in his jorts.
Look, it's safely stored in the jorts.
Yes, and I may need to use it.
Think about it though. It's hidden in his jorts, and it's high enough level. He's gonna have a really hard time pulling it out.
I just imagine you wanting to keep the scythe hidden, so you're just like looking downward and just having a conversation with yourself, as it were.
I mean, like, it's a scythe that you can swing it and reduce people's powers. I feel like that might be necessary.
Yeah.
So how are you going to try to commune with his side?
Last time I saw it, from what I heard from Influencer, he just grabbed it and the thing talked to him.
Are you full of strawberries?
So I kind of just,
I'm assuming you're going to be doing this in private.
Yeah, I'm not going to pull it out in public.
Curtis, I feel like
Have
you were
some
setting him up.
decorum.
I feel like you were setting
You
him
what?
up for that on purpose.
I was setting him up for an HR complaint.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that has been a big missed opportunity. I have not had HR get involved with y'all at all. Hindsight.
Got a couple more issues.
Maybe that'll be the big conclusion. We end with an HR meeting.
Where instead of human resources, it's just the human rights department. It's like, hey, y'all have messed up bad.
All right. So how is Skater Boy going to approach this scythe thing?
I mean, I guess I will pop my mental defense medication that I had,
Okay.
and then grab it and just see if I can talk to the being attached to this artifact.
All right. So you reach into the jorts. You pull out what is currently in the form of a walking stick.
Yeah. So like, to the owner of this like artifact, can we like talk about stuff?
There is no response.
I'm willing to like return you to your like previous owner's hands if I can get like an assist at like a critical moment.
There is no response.
Oh well. Like, tried my best. Oh, back in the jorts you go.
All right. There goes.
Slide.
It slides back into the jorts.
Yep, just slide it right back on in. Maybe it can like attach itself to other stuff. I don't know. Maybe it left like the moment I put it in the jorts. We'll never know.
No, probably not. At some point, the Crucible should really show up and collect that. He must be busy somewhere. So does Skater Boy take up the offer for counseling?
Oh yes, I will also go to a therapist for a little bit.
So as she's talking to you, what is it about these recent events that's really got Skater Boy? What is it that Skater Boy wants to talk about, or feels like he needs to talk about?
Well, it's just like, obviously, like there's always been like this kind of, I worked with the Rook and like the Rook's previous. How known is the information about Whippet and Rook being like sidekick hero?
I think it's relatively well known that Whippet was the Rook's sidekick at one point. That her and Glowstick were sidekicks.
Yeah,
It's-
definitely.
It's
Okay.
not It's not
Mother
known that
Daughter
they're.
is not.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Mike. This is.
Oh no, I think you were going to say what I was going to say. But
and-
they're not known to be mother and daughter.
Right. Now, you go on internet forums, some people are guessing that, but, you've got thousands of people with 1,000 different guesses about stuff, so.
Yeah. But so it's like, I used to like run with the Rook for a while, and now it's like her previous sidekick working here. I've clearly had like a little like probably like too much of a dad vibe around her, and like it's like a big feeling of failure having like had her see that kind of horror stuff without like I just wasn't there when I felt like I should have been.
She kind of nods and asks how you're handling the horror stuff you saw.
Well, like it like gets easier over time to like see it and be like kind of like not get in their head, but like kind of see like yes, I knew he was like gonna do something like, and it's kind of like a mortician where like you've seen enough bodies where like you there's a decent like desensitized is like the word I'd say for like stuff like that.
She nods her head, takes some notes.
You know, it's like if you've been like cut with a knife enough times, when you get a paper cut, it just feels less bad. Or when you get cut with a knife again, it still feels less bad, but it's still bad.
She clearly glances over all the scars you've got.
I mean, it's like the same thing with like eating a food the first time. It's like it's always tastiest when you're first introduced to it. It's always worse when you're introduced to a bad thing the first time.
She kind of nods her head. Yeah. She's familiar, you know. And she talks about the whole, you know, people getting desensitized things, you know.
But like, I never really had like a sidekick for like obvious reasons, just due to like how young I was when I started and like my medical stuff as I was like, you know, blasted with the. Sorry, I was like blasted with alien stuff that messed with my head for a while. I think that's some of that's recorded, but
yeah. And before you had this, you filled out a background thing, you know.
yeah, she would know there's alien artifacts poisoning my brain.
Yep. Yeah, she, with your permission, she has access to your medical records from from the company. You know, she has her own office. She is an independent, you know, doctor or psychiatrist or whatever. But you know, is working with Futuro. And she would have asked you about, you know, about the crystals and about this and about your mother. The mother always has to come up.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, she also did things that were clearly illegal and bad and super villainish, so that's fair.
But what about your father?
Super like got super depressed when like the stuff came to light, and he's in a nice home in like California now.
So no hard feelings or any repressed trauma about the father.
He was kind of like a trophy dad, so like, you know. And I was always kind of like a star attraction kind of thing, so like he never got like mad with me.
All right. So all in all, it sounds like Skater Boy is fairly well adjusted to, you know, to what's going on.
Yeah, it's more of just being sad that he feels like he's ruined a child. Like, oh no, like this child who's like living the mystical Disneyland life of superheroing has now seen like the horrible trauma aspects. He's like, I should have been there to help for that. And that's
she pushes back a little bit because anyone who's been superheroing for very long is bound to have seen some of that. The Rook is not known for handling the goofy, whimsical sorts of villains.
Yeah. Plus, you would know enough to know that Wetbat in the time just before she broke up with, or you know, she went on the run and left the nest, as it were. That she did have like she was part of a teen super team that kind of fell apart and had like some members die due to undefined, but bad superhero league type stuff.
Uh,
I'm like, I know I'm like kind of infantilizing her, and that's like an issue too, all of on its own. It's just like when you see the face break in that moment, you can't help but be like the need to like protect the young. Oh, that sounds like weirder when I say it, but like I swear I don't mean it.
uh, the doctor nods. She understands what you're trying to say. And what she would suggest is be careful not to do the helicopter parent thing. Don't think you can protect her from everything. But maybe let her know that you're there, that she can talk to you. Maybe suggest she get an appointment herself. Either with me or any other professional that she's comfortable with. But but the doctor stays focused mostly on you and what you need to do to take care of you. Like getting you to stop feeling guilty about this thing that you couldn't really have prevented anyway, even if you'd been there. And you might have been there by that point. Now that I think about it. But anyway. Mike, does Whipette take up the offer for therapy?
I was just thinking about that. Uh, I feel like she'd go just because it would be too conspicuous if she didn't. But she would. I feel like she'd be more likely to open up with like, uh, I don't know, maybe even like like any of the other supers who weren't automatically on the team, like maybe not Miss Manhattan because she's pretty new to the game, but like an Earth Mother or a Tomcat, she might let her guard down a little more with, and then when she sees the uh, the psychiatrist on staff, I think she would be defensive because she would be amongst other things she wouldn't want to give up any information on her mom's activities,
Mm-hmm.
which would be a huge stumbling block as far as like really opening up to the trauma because she's already carrying some baggage already.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she'd probably start by being trying to stiff up her lip at first, unless the psychiatrist kind of like pushes her to not do that. I guess how hard is she willing to push back the psychiatrist?
At first, the psychiatrist would focus on the recent events. You were captured by this man that has wiped out entire buildings. You watched him essentially disintegrate a lot of people. You saw him skin a man alive. You should be having some emotions about this.
I think her first reaction, now that I think about it, would be she would take herself to task because first of all she'd be surprised by how she folded because she faced down the Basilev,
Mm-hmm.
it did that with aplomb and didn't have any trouble then. Now they had a lot more hands on hand when that happened. a lot more allies backing me up.
Yes.
But that might be the first thing that she'd have to wrestle with. Like, why couldn't she have like, or maybe okay. So I think maybe now she's starting to really come to grips with the fact that she didn't live up to all the acclaim she got from that showdown. Because when she doesn't have like a couple dozen superheroes by her side, when it's just basically just her, um, she's just a girl with a whip. So there's I guess it'd be some, apart from the disappointment in herself and the shock of how helpless she was, she would feel that I think she's got a hypercharged case of imposter syndrome on top of all that. I think that's the mindset.
Okay. The psychiatrist would push back on that a little bit. You know, basically on how much she has managed to do just being a girl with a whip. And while you had dozens of heroes fighting the Vasilef, frankly, they were dropping like flies. So she would question Whippet about what, her emotions going through that fight. Watching these heroes getting depowered and just, dropping left and right. Versus, the Catalyst thing where it was just her for, a little bit there and then her and Influencer before everybody else showed up. When she was literally bound and incapable of doing anything. She talks about how she's spoken to many soldiers who come back, and the way they react to how different combats went down, and it wasn't that they were less skilled or more skilled. Sometimes it's just dumb luck. Sometimes it's just specifics of what opponent you're facing. She does ask you if any of this is causing you to rethink your career choices.
She might be rethinking whether this is the right team for someone of her abilities. I think she feels that I think she might be starting to believe that she's more of a street level hero, and this is not a street hero level team. Another thing I think she would also talk about is I think she would have opened up by talking about how close. I think it's going to eat at her how close she was to breaking free. Because if you recall, she like put her all into it. Like literally, she activated all her qualities, took on trouble to be able to do that because she blew through all her determination. And even then, she tied the roll. She tied the difficulty, and only one more would have gotten her at least partially free. And I think she would also do a lot of like a lot of second guessing, a lot of like, I should have done this, I should have done that. Maybe maybe trying to dislocating my shoulder was the wrong move. That if I had maybe, I don't know, concentrated on my leg muscles, using my leg muscles more, I might have figured out that the Rook probably would have figured that out. So there's that too. It doesn't seem like she's ready to quit being a hero yet. Maybe step back from such a high profile job. She probably would at least near the end of the session kind of hint that that's what she's thinking about.
Psychiatrist would push back. No, we need to give the psychiatrist a name. Dr. Ambrose. So Dr. Ambrose pushes back a little bit. One, that you seem to have this ideal that the Rook has never failed or couldn't fail. Now, obviously, she doesn't know the specifics, but she knows the Rook's a person and people fail. Nobody wins all the time, regardless of training or experience. As far as the rest of your team, none of them are exactly powerhouses. You know, to her knowledge, Boogeyman is also just a normal, well trained, well equipped human. Skater Boy clearly has some
Well,
abilities.
genius. Yeah, well, they're both genius level gadgeteers.
Yeah.
And if they're on site, they probably would have had the ingenuity to figure something out.
Man, she reminds you that, from the report she saw, the best they could do was talk him down. So, whether you consider that a success or a failure, I guess depends on what your goals are. But and she's not saying that like she's being judgmental of how it went down.
Mm-hmm.
But basically trying to get across with it that nobody ran in there and like just totally kicked ass. It was a bad situation and everybody did the best they could.
I think Whippet would be receptive to that message eventually, but there's going to be a lot of anger, because Whippet is too angry for her own good as a quality.
Mm-hmm.
There'd be a lot of yelling and I don't know, maybe a chair thrown, not towards not towards Dr. Ambrose, but maybe like a chair knocked aside in anger as she like bolts up to like kind of pace around furiously. But it'll be like that kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. So at the end of the session, Amber's like, well, that's all our time. She would very much like to see Whippet again in the future. She thinks she thinks the two of them have uncovered some issues. She hopes she's given Whippet a few things to think about, and she'd like to follow up with her in the future.
Yes, I'd be very happy to do that, assuming I don't get atomized by the catalyst.
Yes, assuming that. Or that he doesn't wipe out the CD, or, things to give us bigger problems. Curtis, does the influencer feel any need for therapy?
He feels a need, but he does not trust. What am I trying to say? He doesn't trust speaking with anybody from Futura.
Really? But he's such a company man.
He is. But he's also conflicted because he really, he was previously involved with groups similar to what Catalyst is doing, and he really believes in Catalyst's mission. But he would like to sign up, believe it or not. But Catalyst is clearly insane, and that's just something he doesn't really feel comfortable talking with Futura about.
Fair enough. Marigold, does the boogeyman go talk to anybody?
I think Boogie is just going to throw himself into one of his projects and put all of the feelings into getting something practical done with his hand.
Okay. More self-help.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that is the therapy portion of the next couple of days. Let's see. Over the next couple of days, there's news reports of Tomcat and Mr. Manhattan being spotted fighting Sword Saints. At least by the description, it sounds like they were fighting Sword Saints. Whippet, you get a call from Glowstick.
Hey,
Hey, sis. What I'm trying to think how she would. Let's see. If she's calling you, if she's calling you as glow stick and just calling you at the base, she wouldn't say, "Hey, sis," to begin with. I mean, your team pretty much knows, but who knows about the company or who's listening on the company line?
sure.
So instead, it's more of a "Hey, squirt." Since you are, noticeable, you are noticeably younger of the two.
Yeah, by a couple years, sure.
So what happened at that pharmaceutical place? The Rook's not giving me any details, but she was kind of freaking out.
Yeah. So the new leader of the Mutant Defense Militia is a transmuter.
Yeah, that
Oh.
catalyst guy.
Yeah. Well, he has no limitations physically or morally about using his powers on people. A couple of the Detroit Defenders kept him in stalemate for a little bit, but he eventually overpowered them and neutralized me as well. And then proceeded to execute would you say what, a few dozen people?
It was probably about a dozen scientists.
Yeah.
Well, there were about a dozen, probably a dozen
yeah.
there. I don't think did he actually kill everybody, or did y'all talk him down before he? Yeah, y'all arrested a few of them. There were at least 4 or 5 that survived.
My impression was that he killed everyone who was complicit. One of whom, the head scientist, very painfully.
Yeah, there were a couple that were very painfully, but there were at least a few that survived because one of them ran up thanking Boogeyman and got punched in the face for it.
Ah, okay.
Because Boogie saved their lives but was not a fan, if I remember correctly.
Nope.
That's right.
Not happy that he had to save him.
Did you open up on some of them?
When Boogie went for a second hit, Skater Boy intervened and
okay.
was like, "Once enough. Got a point across."
So does Whippet unload all the details to Glowstick?
Let's see. They left off okay.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think she'll reveal anything if Glowstick doesn't pry further.
Glowstick would like to meet up in person at some point. Sans costume, hangout day.
I don't think I can afford any hangout days until we figure out this. Until we deal with Catalyst.
Look, mastermind types. It'll be a little bit before he pops back up. You go through something like that, you need a day off. I'll swing by, call up any other buddies you've got, in the city. Just a hangout day. It'll be good for you.
A hangout day. Okay. Are you? Is this like an official? I'll see how people feel about taking a day off. Yeah, I'll let them know. I'll let you know.
Okay. All right. Curtis, the influencer gets called into Offerman's office.
Okay.
Offerman hands you back the flash drive.
You never know when we're going to need it again.
Yep, we pulled the data off. It's reset, upgraded, updated, ready to go. He thought he'd fill you in a little bit on the on what they got off of it.
Great. What did they get?
Lots of genetic information. They had genetic profiles on a lot of powered individuals.
That's not a surprise.
No. Some of them they knew were people that had been exposed to something. That had been normal folks, then altered. Some of them they assumed were mutants. That it was from birth. It doesn't look like they were targeting mutants specifically. They were just grabbing anyone.
Anyone with powers?
Anyone with powers and not a lot of public notoriety. They weren't going after. It doesn't look like they were going after like costumed heroes to experiment on.
I guess that kind of makes sense.
Some of it was just researching trying to figure out how powers work, which everybody since at least the Second World War has been trying to figure out how superpowers work. That's not terribly surprising. But they're also looking for subjects for, they called it transference. There weren't a lot of details, but it sounds like they may have developed some sort of technology for passing someone's powers on to someone else.
Oh.
We got a little bit of information, some email exchanges. It doesn't sound like the process is perfect or permanent. But it did sound like they definitely had some successes in that department. We have based on some information in these files and some research our legal department and some contracted investigator types, forensic accountants and stuff have done. We're pretty sure Ryan Pharmaceutical is owned by Shadow Corps. Rather wholly or just in large part. We can't prove that some of the people they were communicating with were Shadow Corps, but it seems likely. There was also an interesting email exchange, where they were discussing with I'm just going to say it, Shadow. He's like, keep in mind we don't know for sure, but that's who we suspect that they were talking to. But they were talking about what technology can be safely brought to this world. It's like that terminology bothers me.
That does not sound good at all.
And by context, when they say safely, they mean safe for the company. So, I do not want the team. I'm not suggesting we go break into a Shadow Corp office and plug that in. But if Shadow Corps was attacked again and you're responding to an attack, or
be sure and catch anything we can.
If something else has you there, yes. The company doesn't want the liability of actually doing a break-in, even if we have all this circumstantial evidence that they're up to no good. We've got our people looking over all the genetic profiles and stuff now.
Now, I don't want to give anything away, but me as a character, does not know anything that really particularly links the Shadu Corporation to a villain we have already encountered. Do I?
Do you have a particular villain in mind when you say this, or?
Well, I didn't want to say anything. But I was pretty sure, if I remember right, that somebody this team has encountered was linked to them. But maybe I am mistaken and I'm combining a couple of things that I did.
Let's see. Somebody had hired Nosferatet and Onoroi to come after you, but I think that wound up being the company owned by the Russian guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was a quote unquote rogue manager that did that. You know, they had a guy they threw under the bus for it, but. If those were the villains you were thinking about.
No, it's not. So I'm probably combining a couple of things I created without realizing it.
Go ahead and mention who, because I'm trying to think if there's something
The
I'm
headsman.
missing. I don't think the Pantheon was particularly tied to Shadu in any way.
I thought his boss was.
The what was it, Hero Sphinx or whatever, however you say his name.
But I may be mistaken.
Yeah, I don't recall those being connected.
Okay.
Let's see. Boogeyman, you were working in your lab when you get a call from over the comms from your woman in the chair, who I totally just blanked on, Carol.
Carol? Yep.
She's got Earth Mother on the line. She wants to talk to one of y'all.
Okay, patch her through. Thank you, Carol.
Earth Mother comes on. Hey, Boogeyman. I just thought I'd let you guys know that Catalyst guy has contacted me.
Oh.
Yeah, he just a regular old suit knocked on my front door.
Is he still there?
No. I didn't let him in. He was kind of making a recruiting pitch. He says I'm a mutant. I don't know how he knows, since I don't know what I am. But,
he might also be using mutant as a very broad brush here.
She's like, or I may be. I don't know. I just do what I do. I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't never fell into any toxic goo or anything. But we had that other group that thought I might be divine. This guy thinks I'm a mutant. I don't know what thing. I mean, he didn't cause no trouble. He took no for an answer. Just asked me to keep thinking about it. But I figured I should let somebody know, so if I suddenly turn up missing, you know where to start looking.
I do appreciate you giving us a call about this. How are you right now? Like, I know he said he didn't hurt you, but like that's a hell of a situation to turn up at your doorstep.
I'm a little freaked out. I mean, it'd be bad enough if he'd caught me, if he'd just flown up to me patrolling and talked to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been real careful not to lead anybody back here. Like even the nuts, even the nuts in the golden armor never got any. They always jumped me when I was in town. I don't know how this guy found me.
Or doesn't she wear a mask?
Earth Mother does not wear a mask.
Okay. All right, I will pass this on to the rest of the team. Do you have something to write a personal number down with real quick? Put it in your phone or something?
Sure.
And I'll just give her one of my burner phones that I carry.
Okay. So she can just call you directly now.
Mm-hmm.
And like shortly after you give that to her, you get a text from her, so that you have her number now.
Mm-hmm. And this is no longer a burner phone. This is
presumably it's also a burner phone she's using with you.
Yeah.
And she asks you for any details on the man. She just knows what she's seeing in the papers.
I pass her along the important details.
Oh, skinned a man alive. Interesting.
Yeah. Not really a guy you get to take a second swing at if you miss.
Yeah, sounds like you guys took a swing at him.
Not that wasn't plan A. He's alarmingly reasonable for a megalomaniac.
Well, that's
But
reassuring.
I'm not really sure how far we can push it. So, I gotta ask, how hard did you consider his offer?
He's been taking out buildings and stuff. I'm not really down with that. That whole mindset of like he clearly thinks of mutants as people and other people as not people. Yeah, that doesn't sit well with me at all. I've seen enough of that in my life to know that's not going anywhere good.
Yep.
I mean, busting victims out of illegal labs and stuff, more power to him. You were torturing somebody on a lab table and he vaporizes you. I'm not saying that's exactly the right thing to do, but I ain't losing any sleep over it either.
Yeah, I can't say I'm upset about a lot of the corpses he's left behind. It's not plan A, B, or C for me, but like you said, it's his long-term plan that are concerning.
Yeah, or the long-term effects of it anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I want to be clear. I didn't think you were gonna toss your hat in with him. It's just right now he has managed to set the world on a knife set. If it had been a Catalyst, it would have been someone else.
He's one of those powerful people with enough charisma that he can make himself sound reasonable, kind of no matter what. She's like, you see that, you can see that throughout history. People that do that wind up going off on these wild, by the end of their life, you don't really see how they got there if you were just looking at the beginning, because they make each step sound so reasonable. I don't know. Anyway, I wanted to let y'all know, and clearly, I guess this clearly means he's still recruiting.
Clearly. But you stay as safe as we can in this line of work.
Will do. Tell Whippet I said hi.
Well, ciao.
All right, so she hangs up. Oh, let's see. Who would be Whippet. at some point you're walking through the base, and in your little cafeteria areas you're walking by, all three Karens are sitting in there.
Okay.
Uh,
How are y'all doing?
no, they all wave. Yeah, they're all doing well. OG Karen, it's good to see you again. When was the last time? I guess she'd only spoken to OG Karen in the hospital that time. The actual original one that was still out living her life.
That's right.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't think we've been in contact.
There's
Since.
there's been references to the other two Karens, speaking with her or hanging out with her. Miss Manhattan's is a little excited because she's been talking to Karen 1 here, and it sounds like her mother wants to meet her. She goes, the downside is Dad seems to be a little hesitant about it. Did I freeze up?
I don't believe so.
No.
Okay, maybe Mike froze up. I think Mike froze up. And Curtis was very, very still, so I thought everybody had froze up except me. And if everybody froze up except me, that probably means I froze up. Let me type in the chat. All right. All right. Mike is still with us on the Discord. Oh, there he goes.
Oh,
Hey,
Let's see. Sorry, my connection is really spotty. Might want to move on to somebody else. Okay. Well, shoot. The Karens was kind of the next thing. Well, in that case, let's jump over to Skater Boy.
boy.
You were also going into the cafeteria, so you walk in as you see Whippet sitting down with the Karens. You hear Miss Manhattan start talking about how Karen 1 has been talking to their parents. And how her mother kind of wants to meet her, which she seems super excited about. But she sounds a little more down when she talks about, her dad is really iffy about the whole meeting a clone thing. Majestic 7, on the other hand, it just sort of sits there through this conversation. Very still, not really saying anything.
Mike, you back?
Yeah, I believe Mike's back.
Sorry about that.
No problem. Tech issues is tech issues. So anyway, Mike, Skater Boy's also walked in while this conversation is going on.
Okay.
Miss Manhattan is talking excitedly about maybe getting to meet her parents, though her father is a little hesitant about meeting a clone. Majestic
Which
7
one,
is
Miss Manhattan? You said.
yeah, Miss Manhattan. Majestic 7, on the other hand, has just been sitting there quiet during this conversation.
Mm.
Like, as you walked in, she was saying something encouraging to Miss Manhattan about meeting the parents, but now she's just sort of clammed up. And where Boogeyman had made her a image inducer, whatever you want to call it.
That's right.
She's not using it like sitting here in the cafeteria in the base. She doesn't have it turned on, so she's just there in her full armor. But she's been using it to go outside and do things. The 3 Karens have been hanging out some, and then you've probably been invited to go with Manhattan and Majestic a time or two. Overall, Miss Manhattan seems to be adjusting. Like I said, Skater Boys, you walk in, they, everybody kind of waves. Especially OG Karen, because, she has not seen you as often. And did we establish that she remembered you from your old superheroing days?
I think vaguely.
That's right, because she wasn't super into it. Was her husband that was more into that kind of thing. But so anyway, conversation goes on. Skater Boy, you can sit down with them, or you can go get food, or whatever you want to do.
I guess I'll pop a squat if they don't wave me off.
Yeah. So you can whip it at the table with them. Miss Manhattan starts talking about some shopping trip they've just been on. And how they can't get Majestic 7 to buy anything. And she kind of shrugs and goes, I see what I like, and then, and then she does something to the image inducer, now she looks like a woman. A woman with darker hair than original Karen, but still closely resembling original Karen. Close enough that you might, if you saw them next to each other, you might think they were related, but not where anybody would mistake one for the other. And then she goes through a couple of different outfits, because all she has to do is get a good look at it. And saves all kinds of money.
That's the advantage of an image inducer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like, yeah, you can have like the image of it. I think like there is a real like thing of joy to like actually have it in your hands though, of like, because like I could like hologram an umbrella, but it's not the same as like actually having, if that makes sense.
She sort of nods. Are you talking about retail therapy?
I think I'm like probably like 37 years too old to know what that is. And also, I'm kind of a Nepo baby, so like this may have been a thing I would kind of like rum on the lips to help go to sleep at 2 kind of thing.
OG Karen's like, so you're too old to know what retail therapy is, but Nepo baby, you know.
Well, yeah.
Maybe you're just
nepotism's
maybe you're
like-
just a little too much of a stereotypical guy to get retail therapy.
Well, like nepotism's like a word, so it's like it was very easy to like just put baby at the end of it for like spoiled child from rich parents.
Fair, fair. Um, and Miss Manhattan's like, and it's not just clothes. We try to get her to buy knickknacks or just something. And Seven just is like, I don't really need anything. I mean,
Well, hold on, I've got like an idea. You like you like the image inducer, right?
well, yes, it lets me go out and at least feel a little bit like a normal person.
Right. So like who made that? Just to make sure I'm like on the right page.
I want to say Boogeyman was the one that rigged that up for her.
Then I
Mhm.
think if you want to find something that you like again, I think you could just like hit up Boogeyman. I say with the most shit-eating grin on my face.
Well, I would not want to bother him for. And then it's like she it's like she clocked the grin. That's not funny at all. I'm made of metal. And then she just sort of gets up and walks out of the room.
Oh.
And you see the other two Karens are kind of like, they're exchanging a look. Miss Manhattan's like, I've been meaning to bring this up, but I've woken up a couple of times and found her just standing in the dark. Sometimes staring out a window or something. Sometimes just sort of standing there. And like hours later, she's still just there. Do y'all know like a therapist or somebody we get her to talk to? Just worried about her.
Yeah, there's like a company hired therapist that is not attached to the company but is like third party contract.
She sort of nods. I'm just like when we're just hanging out and stuff. She seems to be fine, but then if we leave her to her own devices at all, it's like she just sort of clams up or just. And Miss Manhattan is looking over at OG Karen like she's help, with words. And the older Karen is like, I think she's missing physically being a normal person. And I think she's masking really hard when other people are around. You can Google masking if you're too old to know what that is. She's smirking at you a little bit when she says that.
Wait, was that the young?
No, that was OG Karen saying that.
I look at her like her, and I point at Miss Manhattan. I would threaten to adopt, but like you, I'll talk to your husband. I'm like rich and single. Don't try me.
She's like, oh, I have seen that movie. No, yeah, don't. Uh, but she's like, no, I mean, seriously, we're a little worried about Seven.
Oh yes, like I'm sorry. Out of the comedy, yeah, help her out. I guess like she might have had like a loss of identity. She found out you were alive.
OG Karen nods her head. I've been a little concerned about that. I mean,
Because she was like living under the pretense that she was the continuation of a life. And now she's having to like wrap around the fact that she is in fact an entirely new being.
yeah. And Miss Manhattan's like, yeah, I've had to deal with that, but at least I'm, she just sort of gestures at herself, At least I'm still kind of me. I mean, the me now matches up with what memories I've got. I mean, I've got a normal body. I mean, irradiated, flying. You know what I mean? I can walk outside and people just think I'm another people. But my old memories stop at about 14 years old, so I have no idea how to handle all this emotional stuff she's going through. I want to help, but I don't know what to do. Old Karen's been very helpful there. Truthfully, she could probably use some more buddies than just, two more of herself.
Well, I think I kind of like shot myself in the foot trying to wingman for both. So like, I'm not sure how I get back in that door.
Yeah, they just kind of nod. And then Majestic 7 kind of looks over at Whippet. Hey.
Majestic 7?
No, Miss Manhattan looks over at Whippet.
Okay. You said Majestic 7.
Oh, I'm sorry. Scared. I'm sorry. I meant Miss Manhattan. Kind of looks over at Whippet. Hey, do you know anybody else here in town?
I mean, who's not a super? I don't know if I guess, we as a team, we're kind of,
Every time I try to bring Mikey in, his internet
we know
takes him
Earth
out.
Mother. Do we have? I'm sorry.
All right. I think you're back.
Yes. The only people I could think of would be like Earth Mother and Tomcat, but I don't think. I think early on she tried to I mean, it's possible I might know people because I did, at least in the beginning of the arc of the campaign, try to work a presence with just Detroit as a city. But I think it's been a while she's done that after all the stuff has been emerging with the Shadow Conspiracy thing.
Glow stick.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's true. Oh, that if she hasn't already mentioned it, she does say that Glowstick was planning on coming to town, but not for business. I think she thinks that we need a breathing day. But that might be a good opportunity if the Karens wanted to do some regular people socializing, as regular as Glowstick and I can be considered.
Hey, when you mentioned Earth Mother, Miss Manhattan kind of perked up. Oh yeah, that'd be great. She seemed cool. And truthfully, super people would probably react better to 7 than than normal folks, you know, if like the inducer went down or, you know, something.
Well, I know one of my old crime fighting partners is planning to come to town also.
I'm trying to remember if Manhattan has met
She's
Glow Stick.
yeah, she's fun, and she is. She's maybe more of a well-adjusted party girl than I am. I don't say that out loud, but just out of character.
I don't know. Is she well adjusted, or is she just more of a party girl?
I mean, compared to me,
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But on the other hand, you got out of your mother's shadow, and she hasn't exactly.
that's true.
Uh, so Miss Manhattan seems to go. She seems to go into party organizer planner mode.
All right.
You know, when can your fellow sidekick get into town? And, you know, what should they do? She suggests roller skating.
Name
She liked roller
dispenser.
skating as a kid. Or is roller skating still a thing?
Ask the expert here. I gesture towards Skater Boy.
Skateboarding's it's a whole other thing.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Like roller derby.
Well, there's also like inline. Inline is still like super popular. And then there's like the body skating, but like don't do that. You go way too fast. It's like scary.
Now I'm looking up. Do they have skating rinks in Detroit? Oh yeah, they got a couple.
I'm sure.
I'm sure they've got like a skate castle too.
Skate Land, Rollercade Detroit, Northland Roller Rink. It may just be those three though.
You're on There's a Detroit skating club in the suburbs.
Old Karen's like, oh, I have not skated in years. Tragedy will result from this.
Well, they say it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah, but I've also got that injured leg. I've got that limp from my injured leg. I don't know how well I'd do. So she sounds doubtful but willing to try.
Anyway, okay. Well, Glowstick will probably be here, like maybe in a day or two. So, yeah, let's figure something out.
Okay. So plans are being made. Though Manhattan does want to know, all right, is this just going to be a girls' day out thing? And then she gestures to or are we inviting the guys too?
Glowstick said this was thinking this would be a full team thing for whoever was interested.
All right, so Karen nods. Yeah. We got to get Boogeyman and Influencer in on this then. And then she pulls up her comm because I'm pretty sure y'all gave her one of the comms.
It just occurred to me, if we go to an event where there's admission, we could at least save one admission if influencers willing to use his powers for personal profit or at least personal savings.
Or he could check and see if the company would cover it as part of a.
That's true. Business expenses.
Yeah. It's team building exercise. That's the term I was looking for.
And also, a trip to a roller rink is so meager in expense.
Right?
Like, oh, I have to find a way to fit $178 on the books. Whatever will I do?
I'm not doing the paperwork for that. Here, just take it out of petty cash.
Yeah, it's like he just pulls two hundos and goes, "Just go. I don't want to do the paperwork for this."
All right, so Miss Manhattan gets on the comms, comms influencer and boogeyman at the same time. And do a little joint thing. Hey guys, we're planning a skating trip for us and somebody Whippet knows, and we're gonna get Earth Mother in on it. Does anybody know how to get in touch with Earth Mother?
Yeah, I can. I have. She has my number. I want to clarify that is the order. Okay, I can get in touch with her.
Oh, so she gave you the deets. Hmm.
Does anybody know how to skate besides Skater Boy?
I can learn.
Both Karens raised their hand.
Yeah, I figure Whippet has enough athletics to be able to handle it.
Oh, should I call Kenny?
Who's Kenny?
Oh,
Rick Tawarn's husband. Right,
Kenneth.
right.
No, Kenneth. She's like, oh no, Miss Manhattan's like, oh no, Kenneth, Mr. Manhattan.
Oh, right. I mean, I don't see why not. It's Chicago City Hero
Detroit.
Fraternity building exercise, I guess.
Did you say Chicago?
Detroit.
People from Detroit would not take that well.
Oh, they wouldn't. People from Chicago would take the reverse very well either.
Truthfully, I don't think either city would be happy with being mistaken for the other. All right. So over the next day, you hatch out a plan to go to the roller rink. Karen, let's see, Miss Manhattan was Karen 3, I think. Boogie, she leaves you in charge since you've got Earth Mother's number. She leaves you in charge of getting in touch with Earth Mother.
I'll send her a text. Say, hey, you want to go skating with the team?
I'm trying to think of what the immediate response would be. That's the response back is, this is not what I expected our next message to each other to be.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. I'm just the one who knows how to get in touch with you.
All right, explain why skating.
I got flashbanged with apparently everybody else was planning going to the skating rink. I have no strong argument against not going. And quite frankly, honestly, I think it could be like fun, or the very least relaxing. And then they told me, and then they asked if anyone knew how to get in touch with me.
There's a pause. The little ellipse comes up and flashes a couple times and goes away, and then it comes up. She's typing. She's not typing. She's typing. Sure, I guess if it's a group thing, it probably wouldn't hurt for me to get to know some of you guys better. This isn't a weird excuse to try to get a date, though, is it?
27! Jesus, no!
Didn't think so. Just checking. You wear a helmet. I don't know how old you are.
Fair enough, but still, it was kind of uncomfortable telling everybody teenage girl's number. For just increasing how horrifyingly awkward this entire exchange has been.
Aren't you on a team with a teenage girl?
Like 19, 20, wasn't she?
18.
18.
Like, literally
Difference
turned
between
18 a
work-
little bit before the team formed.
Yeah, I think she's currently 19.
Think so? Okay, maybe so, maybe so.
There's a difference between having the number of someone you work with versus someone else. The context matters.
I'm sure that'll sound great in court.
Oh yeah, it'll hold up. Do you have can you get in touch with Tom? See if he wants to come? If we're already, heard them talking about dropping a line to Mr. Manhattan, too. So might as well get the whole band together.
We'll just grab every super person in Detroit.
Hey, let's call Spear. Okay.
Yeah, she can get in touch with Tomcat. They've teamed up a few times. And no, don't go anywhere weird with that.
I wasn't planning on it. It seems totally reasonable.
All right. So, a couple days later. Oh, you said Boogeyman was working on projects. Is there anything specific you wanted to be working on, or is it just he throwing himself into the lab to deal with stuff?
I'm going to say one of probably the most innocuous thing he could be working on would be an upgrade to M7's image inducer. Give it like a pinpoint pinpoint hard light bullshit. Basically, if she touches something or she touches someone, it's going to feel like an actual person or actual fabric at the point of contact.
Okay.
And she'll actually be able to feel textures and not just register register temperature, actually feel hot, cold, soft, hard, whatever.
Okay. Fairly in-depth project.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say over this last couple days, you've been specifically working on the interface between the actual robotic body she's got inside the suit and the image inducer. To get that where it sends the information as feelings as opposed to just numbers.
Yeah.
It feels warm, not just it's 80 degrees comes up, in her hood. All right, Mike, when you get in touch with Whippet, yeah, she's more than happy to be going out with this big gaggle of people.
Who am I contacting?
Whenever you get in touch with Glowstick.
Oh, okay.
Because, when that left off the conversation, she was like, we should do this. I can be in town in a couple of days.
Oh, okay. She wasn't already on her way. I see.
Well, knowing her, she probably was, but she had not specifically said she was.
All right. Yeah, I'll let her know. It's going to be a whole thing.
So yeah, a couple days later, she rolls into town. She probably wouldn't come to the base out of costume. But she would let you know kind of where she was staying. Let's see, I'm trying to think of who all she's met last time she was here. She's met the entire team, of course. Can't remember if she met Earth Mother or not.
I don't feel like she has. I don't think she's ever I don't think she's ever gone on a mission with the team. And I figure that's probably the only occasion in which she might have met anyone else. I think the last time she was here, she was strictly here to see Whippet.
I'm trying to remember when y'all went underground and saved Miss Manhattan. I know Rook was involved with that. I can't remember if Glowstick was or not.
Oh, I don't think she was. Like, I recall only having her appear once.
Yeah, may have been.
That's what I recall, at least.
Like, I think the Rook was involved with that.
Yes.
All right, so influencer. Were you agreeing to go? I can't remember if you ever said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will go.
So everybody's going this, I assume, out of costume. Now, how is Boogeyman handling the out of costume aspect of this?
He's going with just like a medical mask, sun mask, glasses. Nothing super elaborate. Just the minimum identity hiding bullshit.
That's fair. I forgot. A lot of people still do run around the masks, though.
We don't know Boogeyman's identity, do we? Isn't that something he's kept secret from us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even the company doesn't know.
I thought so.
Like, he's nobody important. It's just extremely paranoid.
Yep. Like, if you saw him, it'd be that scene from Justice League Unlimited when Lex Luthor's in the Flash's body. At least I'll get to find out who the Flash is, and he pulls the mask off and looks at himself in the mirror. I have no idea who this is.
And Whippet does have that ponytail wig thing in uniform, so
yeah, I don't
know how to find her.
I don't even remember what color her hair is supposed to be.
Let's say blonde. I don't think I have to find it yet.
And Glowstick's a blonde, so that makes sense.
Sure.
Unless Glowstick was coloring her hair too. I think the Rook's hair was the Rook's hair blue too? I have to go deep through the art. I assume Scatterboy is just going in his jorts.
Yeah, it's. I Tony Starked myself a long time ago. I can't hide it. I know what I am.
Is he at least not going in the Visionaries t-shirt?
Oh yeah, he's not going in costume. It's like, I gotta keep the jorts on because, like, that is a majority of the useful things I have in case of emergency. Yeah. Admittedly, people from a distance may think I'm doing a Mario cosplay, but I'm just kind of chilling.
A Mario cosplay?
Because the jorts are red shirt.
Oh, fair. But you're breaking up the color scheme, so people won't recognize you as Scatterboy.
Not unless they know.
You'll just be some random old dude.
Who skates hella good. Yes. Who gets in a small argument trying to get his board on the roller rink.
Sorry, sir, it's got to be skates.
Ah,
The skate rental is right over there. You do run into one slight problem early on, as Majestic 7 is far too heavy for any normal skates.
Hmm.
That won't make her feel better.
Possibly reinforce them somehow.
Well, I'm sure that Boogeyman or Skater Boy could whip her out appropriate skates.
Are the Gadgeteers going to Gadgeteer some sturdy enough skates, or some sort of skate reinforcement gadget?
I mean, we could probably just make like a device, some small anti-weight / anti-gravity device or something. Just slap it on and move on to their day. And let the skates stay regular. Because if we don't own the skates.
Make a new pair of skates? That's way too complicated. We'll just reduce gravity in the localized area. There we go.
And just for the record, I do not think it would be a good idea to modify her robotic feet so that they could just, drop wheels.
You don't want inbuilt Heelys malfunctioning.
Well, it's just not going to improve her self-image.
Hey, now, in the 70s, Iron Man had skates built into his armor.
I know, but he wasn't having issues with being a robot.
True, his issues are different and well documented.
Yes.
Okay, let's me and Skater Boy go to a back room and a miniature grav lift slap onto the skates.
All right. So through the use of super tech, you have reduced her weight enough that she can get the skates on. Yeah. She basically goes back out to the car and takes off the, big boots that are part of the armor, leaves those in the car. So it's just the robot feet having to go into the skates. And those are a little more within human proportions.
Mm-hmm.
You don't actually see them, though, because the image reducer is still going.
Mm-hmm.
So how good would y'all be at skating? This is kind of a dumb thing to roll on, but everybody give me a coordination roll. If you've got athletics, that would factor in.
How did you guess what I was going to ask?
I think
I was eyeballing my athletics skill too.
I would like to use my probability control to give Whippet good luck on it.
Wait, did I fail a roll?
No, you haven't rolled yet.
That's the influencer.
Okay.
I know. I'm giving Whippet a +2 to the roll when Whippet makes the roll.
Okay.
Because I don't want Whippet to have a bad time.
Oh, I see. Okay. With athletics, is this what would this be? Coordination plus athletics? Huh?
Yes, coordination plus athletics.
Or would there be? Okay. 1d6 plus 5 plus 2 plus 2, and thank you. 13.
Nice.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention Tomcat did show up. He doesn't have the medical mask like Boogie is using, but he does have like a very large pair of shades, like those kind of wraparound ones.
Is this going to devolve into like the old Legends of the Superheroes show where the Justice League fought the Legion of Doom on jet skis?
That wasn't my plan, but I kind of love that now. All right, Miss Manhattan does quite well, not as well as Tomcat.
Yeah, in the 70s, there was some really bad television that helped pave the way to bring cable mainstream.
All right, so it looks like nobody just busted.
I don't know. I got a 5.
Influencer and Majestic 7 are not graceful. It's slow, little on the clumsy side. You hang close to the wall where there's a handrail most of the time.
That's okay. This is about team building, not hot dogging.
OG Karen doesn't do a ton better. Like clearly that bum leg of hers is giving out on her pretty quick. But she does a little bit better than Influencer and Majestic 7. She doesn't have the stamina, so she winds up standing by the wall and waving and talking to people as they go by, and that sort of thing. Tomcat is immensely graceful. Like he's doing the tricks and circling around people, as they're moving. He seemed to just get a kick out of the whole ideal of what y'all are doing. Like he showed up because this just seemed like a weird thing to do, and he's all for it. And it doesn't hurt for all the heroes in town to what's the word I'm looking for here? Know each other to network.
Yes, networking. We didn't invite any of the Detroit Defenders.
No,
Feel a little bad about that.
Well, we know that 2 of them are injured, to be fair.
That is true.
All right, now where did I put Mr. Manhattan stats?
But
Oh God, he did show up.
Skater Boy will be skating, seeing Tomcat doing all this, and slowly mutter himself. Maybe he did like the fact we had to ride together on a board.
Oh, Mr. Manhattan is pretty good too, despite not having much of a coordination.
Mike has also typed a thing for.
All right. All right. So, Mike, you were saying, or typing.
Yes.
Once you're
Oh yeah, so yeah, something that's been on Whippet's mind for for a while now is how Tomcat and Earthmother being local, Detroit born and raised, presumably heroes, what they feel about like a team of outsiders taking up root in this town. I don't think she's had an opportunity to breach the subject, and I figure if we're all sufficiently cozied up with one another now to be social, that might be that I think that's something she'd be curious to ask at some point.
Uh, Tomcat's fine with it. He don't really care. It's a typical of a company not to hire anybody local. Not to get in contact with anybody local. But that's just big corporations. He wouldn't have been interested in working for a corporation anyway, so he don't guess he's got any business being too upset about it. And he's worked with you guys. You guys are cool. You guys are whatever mistrust he might have of just any corporation for that, not your corporation specifically, but just any corporation trying to get into superhero and like that. Whatever misgivings he might have, you guys all seem to be doing the job, for the right reasons. Of course, 3 of you are also experienced heroes before this. That influencer guy he seems to be new, but and rookie mistakes aside, seems to be an okay guy. Hopefully, he hasn't started any more bar brawls. Earth Mother at first seems a little hesitant to answer the question. And then finally, he's like, "All right, let me just preface this. I worked with y'all for a couple times now. You really say, you swooped in to help me out when I was getting jumped that time. We are cool. But yeah, I was pretty upset when I first started hearing about it. They want a Detroit superhero team. They don't want anybody from Detroit on the team. Most of the city's black. None of you guys are. It just seemed a little.
When
Go ahead.
When Earth Mother breaches that subject, Wetbat almost like heaves a sigh of relief and says, "I know, right?" She starts to get maybe perhaps if there's alcohol involved, and I don't think there has been yet. She might even get like a little cringy about like the white guilt she's expressing at this point, but she's like, she totally she tries to let Earth Mother know that she gets it, and then Earth Mother then she'll shut up and let Earth Mother continue.
But she wasn't completely sure about Boogeyman initially. As far as that bit went, because he's in the all concealing outfit, but.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
that's a good point. Actually, yeah.
Even with the glasses and the mask now, there's enough of him showing, and presumably he's not wearing gloves all the time while he's here. But
he's not that much of a weirdo.
Yeah. It's just enough to mess with any facial recognition software or photographs.
Yep.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So but you guys have not just been the corporate stooges she thought you were going to be starting out.
Not completely.
We're not just corporate stooges.
I'm also a working dad.
Oh. Do you reveal that to the group? Or
No, that was an Austin Powers reference.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say the idea of influencer with a child is a terrifying concept.
The fun thought is influencer's got a child that he can never get to do what he wants him to do. I can't talk them into it. I can't possess them. Just nothing works.
Right.
That would be funny.
Uh, but let's see. Oh man, let's see. Mr. Manhattan would, or Kenneth would, let's see. At some point, he'd probably be talking to the guys. You know, he's not trying to make it. He's not trying to make this a business meeting when clearly this is a social. But he gives you a quick fill in on what him and Tomcat ran into with the Sword Saints. Basically, they were hassling this guy that's basically like a street preacher. He just sort of shows up, gives sermons on street corners. Apparently, there's some sort of faith healing involved sometimes. He goes, don't know how legit all that is, but apparently it was enough to put him on the Pantheon's radar. So they're still in town, you know.
Lovely. The street preacher. Do you have any idea how to get in touch with him?
No, we don't even know what his real name is. On the street, they literally just call him Jim the Baptist.
Well, if they're after him, they might actually have some sort of healing abilities. Whether they're divine in origin,
Yeah, I know.
I'm going.
Go ahead.
I'll go ahead.
Oh, Manhattan was just going to mention that. You know, he knows the Pantheon had come after Earth Mother at some point. You know, the same idea. Maybe she's divine or something. Because that's the advantage of naming yourself after something involving the atomic bomb is nobody thinks you're divine.
Yeah. I'm gonna say I already filled in the team with what Earth Mother told me, and just mentioned to him. Cat apparently visited her the other day, saying she was a mutant. So not entirely sure either of them have a perfect understanding of people they're targeting.
Well, to be fair, scientifically speaking, because Kenneth is a geneticist, science doesn't have an exact definition on what mutants are as far as the type of mutant we're talking about. There's like no one cause of it. It's always genetic, but it's all sorts of different stuff. You know, some of it may be random mutation, but then a lot of it seems to be genetics from something else. You know, some of it probably alien, some of it, I don't want to say supernatural, but let's say otherworldly creatures, but of the earth. And some of it we just have no idea. It's just, extra genes. If Catalyst manipulates things, I wonder if he can pick up differences in people's DNA and RNA that way. But then how would he be able to tell mutant apart from transformed, like me, from an experiment?
I mean, next time we see him, maybe I'll ask.
Skidboy leads it slightly. I think he may have like a little bit of trouble with that because he didn't know whether or not I was a mutant.
No, I want to say the chick didn't know. When you talked about like you had been born with some of your powers, it made it seem like she'd been born with some of your powers. She thought you were a mutant right away. I'm trying to remember if Catalyst ever commented.
That's fair. I don't think he might not have.
He recognized Curtis or Influencer as a mutant right away. And that first batch that that him and the Foundation rescued, he immediately picked out the non-mutant that was in that group. But that dude was a normal human. You know, the delivery man that had gotten kidnapped or whatever. So, Mike, you mentioned was alcohol involved. They do serve alcohol here. But Whippet isn't old enough to buy alcohol.
Oh, I don't have a fake ID?
Well, you know, Whippet absolutely could if she wanted one.
I imagine she would have picked one up during her time on the streets, like even cruising around with Jay Dragon back in the day.
Okay.
If you don't mind, if that sounds reasonable.
That's minor enough that, yeah, that's fine. I'm not charging you build points for that. What does Whippet drink?
You know, even though she spent time in this, well, let's see. She probably didn't drink at all until she moved out on her own, because I don't think she would have ever dared try to sneak alcohol while she was under the Rook's wing.
No, maybe
So,
a sip
I
of
don't know,
champagne
whatever.
at New Year's or something would be about it.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see. She would probably drink whatever Jade Dragon was drinking, if he drank at all. What does a street martial artist drink? I have no idea. We'll
Probably
just say,
micro brews from
we'll say
local to wherever he's at.
All right. Yeah, you know what? Something local and Detroity. That sounds like a good plan.
OG Karen gives you a look as you sit down. In fact, her and Majestic 7 both give you kind of a look when you sit down. But neither one of them say anything.
Oh.
But you got that look like, is she old enough for... But they must have carded her. Okay.
Sip once. Yeah, I'll sip once, and I'll sip slowly.
But
Does
self-conscious.
Boogeyman see her with this?
Yes.
No.
Boogeyman is going to just skate over to where she is sitting and quietly take it from
her. Aw.
Listen.
Oh, fine.
I am already on thin ice. We will remove my kneecap. Okay?
It's not an ice rink. But then she says, okay, all right.
Know who I'm talking
about. Oh, right.
That is true.
Glowstick, who is sitting right next to Whippet, is just smiling and taking a big drink out of hers.
Yeah, I didn't take it for a narc. She says that. She cracks that, but does not get any more alcohol.
I hold up the bottle to Glowstick. I'm not in charge of you.
I'm good and grown.
Glowstick's 21.
Yeah, but Glowstick's like, I'm good and grown. You try to take mine, it's gonna be a fight.
Yeah, I don't want that.
You do, however, get an approving look from both OG Karen and Majestic 7.
Good job.
It's that approving mom nod, yeah. And their facial expressions are very similar. Clearly, you did a good job with the image inducer.
Gonna ask M7. So how's everything holding up?
She sort of, looks down at the skates. So far, so good. It took a minute to get used to the lessened weight. But it feels good. It feels more normal.
And do let us know if there's any anomalous radiation out coming from them.
I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, oh yeah, and,
They're-
my sensors would notify me immediately if there was. But
Yeah. You don't we don't want to accidentally be giving people, hyper cancer or spontaneous superpowers or both.
uh, so at some point during the evening, let's see. Everybody, give me awareness.
Yes. It's the gift that keeps giving.
I know it's been quite a thing. Scatterboy has
Oh
given me
my
today.
goodness.
Right.
I'm in my element.
All right, who beat an 8? Influencer beat an
Everyone.
8.
Everyone.
Boogeyman beat an 8. Whippet beat an 8. Oh wow.
Bring me a ramen bowl.
All right.
You want more, right? Guess I'm eating ramen.
So at some point, OG Karen has excused herself and gone to the restroom, or powder her nose or whatever. And on her way back, all of you happen to notice her stop, and she's talking to a young lady, probably in her early 20s. Let's see, y'all all rolled pretty good. Well, then I think it's only a little bit higher, but. So yeah, you're talking to 20-something blonde chick, and like they don't. It doesn't look like it's a happy conversation. Boogeyman, you notice a resemblance between the younger woman and Karen. Though really, it would be especially sharp if you think about her and Miss Manhattan. Because they physically look closer to the same age. And it ends with Karen.
Everybody's gonna hear him.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Everybody's gonna be hearing him sucking in air between his teeth.
But the conversation ends with Karen, crossing her arms, and the younger lady not stomping her foot, but you get the impression that you would not have been surprised if she'd stopped her foot, but she rolls her eyes, turns, and kind of marches off. And then Karen makes her way back over to you. Boogie, you also know while this is going on, like Earth Mother, Tomcat is telling a story, and Earth Mother, Miss Manhattan, and Glow Stick are all kind of just joking around, interjecting there. They're keeping themselves kind of distracted and occupied, so they don't seem to have noticed. Majestic 7, you realize she was watching that exchange too, and she is just froze. Like, just completely still.
He's gonna sit down next to her.
She doesn't seem to register you sitting down. It doesn't react or respond anyway.
Gotta be a hell of a thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah, she...
She's doing well.
Yeah, she was...
At least she seems to.
She was so much. She was. Yeah, she's grown up. She's grown up. Didn't look happy that her mother was here.
Do you want to talk to her about it? Karen, that is.
Maybe after this would be kind of a downer. I wouldn't want to spoil anybody else's mood. And she kind of gestures over to where all the laughing and stuff is going over with with Tomcat and all them.
Well, you ever need to vent about anything? Talk to me. Anything said between you and me, strictly confidential.
Oh, are you a priest or a
Policy
shrink?
Just someone who tries to listen.
She might take you up on that. OG Karen sits down, smiling at the laughing group and clearly clocking that something's going on over there. By the same token, she also seems to have noticed that all of you were staring at her as she walked back. So yeah. Seven looks over at Karen and she seemed upset. Karen's like, she doesn't know if it's safe for me to hang out with so many. And she kind of glances around because y'all are in a public place. People of your profession.
Well, I mean, if something happens, you are probably the single safest person in this entire building.
That's kind of what I told her.
Because we are all literally right here.
Also, like, it's not like the supervillains don't already know who you are.
Yeah. Tried explaining that to her too. But then she starts going on into statistics and this, that, and the other. All that spear training she's been in.
It just means she loves you. I'm sure you did the exact same thing whenever she was younger. Now it's her turn to do it to you.
Yes, I suppose. I don't mind her being grown, because she have taken a little bit longer to get there.
More personal details than I usually like to share, but I have a cousin with and he always goes on about how swears they just brought them home from the hospital, and now they're driving cars, they're going on dates, and it's madness. But every time he closes his eyes, it's still just the little angry bunch of little angry potatoes and swaddling blankets.
Karen laughs, nods at, that sounds more like how her father talks. Particularly the angry potato bit. Though, wrapped up in the swaddling, he'd always compare her to a caterpillar. But yeah, I didn't even know she was. I didn't even know she was in town. She's been off schooling, whatever. Apparently, her father told her where I was. I'll have to talk to him about narking me.
He's probably just as worried about you as.
If he wasn't out, can't talk. If he didn't have to work late this afternoon, he'd have probably been here too. He was always into the superhero thing more than I was.
If he's ever off, I'll be sure to give him a If we ever bump into him again, I'll be sure to give him an autograph.
You'd appreciate that, I'm sure. All right. Influencer.
Yes.
So you've clocked some of this conversation.
I have been listening.
Clearly the daughter wasn't happy she was here. The mom has mentioned the daughter was training for Spear, though that is something that she had been mentioned previously. Long enough ago that I don't know if the players remembered or not. But anyway, is there anything the influencer would do or say? Basically, how is he spending his evening? Obviously he was skating some. What's he doing in this social situation, basically? Center of attention, sitting in the background.
He might. Maybe he'll try and Majestic 7 is. I think maybe Influencer will try to hang out with whatever circle that's in.
Okay.
And just sort of be chatty with her.
So he's sitting down with the other member of the We Survived Catalyst Club.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're sitting over there with Whippet and Glow Stick, and at this point, Earth Mother and Miss Manhattan and Tomcat. Mr. Manhattan has gotten a couple of beers and is like handing one of them to Skater Boy.
Oh, thanks.
I never like to drink alone. I don't drink that often. It really doesn't do anything for me these days.
I can't really think of the last time I got hammered. Maybe it's
Is it that you can't get hammered, or is it just you've grown out of wanting to?
it's probably the second one, but I don't want to admit it. I just take a sip.
Meanwhile, over at the table, some point during the evening, Curtis, Earth Mother asks Influencer, how'd you get into this job anyway?
That's a good question.
Street vigilante from a bad part of town, or, rough town, former sidekick. She kind of gestures over to Skater Boy. I don't know how he got into this job back in the 90s either.
I made a lot of mistakes trying to use my powers, and was lucky enough to be given a second, third chance by Futuro.
She kind of leans forward. So we're talking villain origin. Have you got a villain backstory?
Not exactly. You wouldn't want to admit that.
He almost let that information out, but not quite.
Do what?
I said you almost let that information almost slipped out. But But I can see how possessing people with mistakes can be made. How did the company run across you?
Not established. No.
Sorry, the company writers are still coming up with that.
Yeah, no, quite by accident. And they literally found me.
Does the influencer know how Futuro found him?
Do what?
I
Oh,
said,
no, he does not.
Hmm.
I mean, he knows that they found him. He wouldn't know specifically how they singled him out or how they found, caught him, so to speak.
Maybe up the rings.
So anyway, the night continues on. There's some more skating. The rink does the thing where they start doing kind of the theme. For the next song or two, it's couple skate and stuff like that. Uh, uh, when they announce couple skate, Whippet, your sister grabs Mr. Manhattan and drags him out to the floor.
Oh.
Karen 3, Miss Manhattan, doesn't look super pleased about this. Which has OG Karen like smiling and hiding it, with her cup. Let's see. Tomcat would offer to go skate with. Let's see. Earth Mother is on the young side. He offers to skate with either one of the older Karens. OG Karen declines. Her legs about wore out. She's probably done about all the skating she's gonna do for that. Majestic 7 also declines.
Boogie's gonna offer, hey, if you want to test those dates a little bit more, it'd be a useful data collection for me at least. I think it'd be fun.
Well, I guess if you want to skate.
I mean, only if you want to. Stop trying to make a whole big thing out of it.
Well, sure. Let's go collect some data.
And just inside.
I think you cut off there. What was it?
And just on the inside.
And just on the inside.
Score.
When Seven's back is turned towards the table, you see OG Karen kind of lift her cup to you a little bit.
Super sour.
Tomcat sits back down. Well, clearly she's got a thing for masked men.
It's just I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
No. You two are skating off by the time he says this. He's saying this to the rest of the table. You know, smile on his face. Clearly, he's not taking it actually personally or anything.
Mm-hmm.
They've had like big crush vibes going on in the office.
Let's see. Does he know? I'm trying to think if Tomcat knows anything about Majestic 7.
He could probably smell that she's not organic.
Oh, that's fair. I had forgotten about his enhanced senses there for a second, so that's fair enough.
Poor son of a bitch.
And he is probably I think he's probably encountered her, in armor in superhero mode at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But so how frisky is Boogeyman going to get during couplescape?
He's keeping it very respectful, very friendly.
Oh, I said how frisky was he going to get, and then you say very. I was like, wait, whoa, unexpected. But okay, I see. Very respectful. Gotcha.
Oh yeah, your lobster's fixed. Someone has a toy lobster she needed glued back together.
Gotcha. Whippet, you can't help but notice every time your sister and Mr. Manhattan or Kenneth comes by, she's kind of smirking at the younger Karen.
Glowstick is smirking at younger Karen,
Mm-hmm.
like she's rubbing in her face.
Just a little bit.
Oh,
And you recognize that, yeah, that's a glow stick signature move.
oh, okay.
She likes to play with people like that,
Yeah.
poke people, poke it. It's button pressing. When you were real little, if she got the last, ice cream out of the free refrigerator, it was the same sort of smirking at you while she ate it kind of thing.
And when you say younger Karen, is that Miss Manhattan you're
Yes,
talking about?
yes.
I'll just lean over to her and say, "Don't take that personal. She's like that. Means nothing."
Oh, there's nothing to take personal.
Trust me. Don't give her the satisfaction. Steely eyes. Or actually, no, not steely eyes. Nonchalant, non-caring eyes. That's the card to play. Trust me, I know.
Oh, that's right. Y'all were sidekicks together. Or actually, Karen may have been around you enough to have heard the sister exchange. Because that has happened a few times when y'all were all, or maybe it's just the core team that may have heard some of that. Like Boogie, obviously
but
knows.
I feel like she's I feel like she's been adjacent to enough to the she's been adjacent to the team long enough where if it's more if it's more interesting that she gets what Bet's saying, that's cool by me.
Okay.
Or might even just confirms even if she might have even just suspected, but my knowing talk of her kind of would confirm it if she wasn't already sure.
So anyway, night finishes out at the skating rink. Everybody seems to have had a good time. It's all, it's all laughing and chit-chatting and, Tomcat admits that was more fun than he'd expected to have. He hasn't been to a skating rink since he was a kid. Which kind of rubs it in everybody else's nose because he was the most graceful on the skates.
I mean, literally superhuman. Boogie's gonna try not to focus too much on that.
I know it's skates and not a skateboard, but I would think a skater boy would have his pride hurt by that a little bit.
I'm like in my 50s. I'm not gonna like pretend I'm at the top of my game.
I forget what
Fair
did he.
enough.
What did Skater
12.
Boy roll for? Oh, Skater Boy. Skater Boy was right there in the neighborhood.
I
Then.
was a point under.
Yeah, he was right there.
Well, Skater Boy was 2 points under. Whippette was 1 point under. So you three were the MVPs, you know. Or first, second, third place on the podium, if you would. Influencer's just glad he stayed upright.
Yeah. Nobody expected him to do well.
So y'all are out in the parking lot. Y'all, you know, people are breaking up to go to their cars, or like in the case of Earth Mother, you know, she just waiting for her Uber to get there. And you hear what sounds like an explosion off in the distance. There's a flash of light. There's some other noises that you can't quite make out what it is. You know, everybody's head jerks around. You know, a lot of just other people coming and going from the place. You know, a few people seem to be oblivious to it. Something comes streaking by, hits the street, bounces a few times. You know, cuts a little groove in the street. People start screaming at this point. Yeah, some of them go running back to the car. Some of them just go running into the nearest building. A moment later, out of whatever it was that got knocked there, you know, at the end of that little trench that's in the road now, you see the commander of the Detroit Defenders float up into the air. A little wobbly at first, but she stabilizes herself quickly. You know, cape's a little torn, armor's a little, or suit's a little mussed.
Boogeyman's gonna go up to her, looking up at her. Commander, how bad is it?
She looks down at you. You know, she's got that full face helmet thing going on, so you can't really see facial expression. It's a slight crook of their head. Boogeyman?
Yep.
Giant robot has come up out of the lake.
Giant. Oh, I don't want to do.
It's all right. I'm sure my team can handle it. Please enjoy your skating. You're looking over at what parking lot you walked out of.
We would have invited y'all out, but we didn't have anyone's number.
That's all right. We were on duty.
Not to snitch, but I think we did. Didn't we exchange contact
Yeah,
info?
I have
Oh,
their
yeah.
numbers.
Yeah. You absolutely could have contacted them.
I thought they just had injured members.
Right.
Yeah, that's it.
But she's like, I'm sure my team can handle it. If you're busy. If you'll excuse me now, I need to get back to the fray.
Yeah, well, take care. Take care.
And she strikes back up.
Are we not going to help?
No, we're gonna.
Oh, we're like
help.
clearly gonna help. That was just like a really antagonistic way for her to talk to us. It was like weird.
Look, she just got punched by a giant robot. Give her a break.
Mhm.
You go get punched by a giant robot. See how talky you are.
I'm not gonna insult people for taking a day off.
She didn't insult anybody.
Yeah, she was like, "Oh, I'm sorry. We wouldn't have talked to you. We were on our job." To the people who have the same job as us, yeah, okay, that wasn't.
You know,
Maybe she's.
this
Listen.
wouldn't be the
Her
first.
teammates were seriously injured. She is stressed, and here she finds at least one of us that she was able to identify because I talked to her. Time he's gone to the car he came in, and he's just changing into his boogeyman get up in the parking lot as he's saying all this.
I just
Pissed finding me out here having.
just pull my
I will say
visionary
that-
shirt out of my jorts and change shirts in the parking lot.
Majestic 7 is just putting her gauntlets back, or the gauntlets, boots back on. And once they're in place, she drops the image inducer.
Whippet would like to say as she's getting into uniform that, not for nothing, but the defenders have a proven track record of being bitchy at us, one way or the other.
Yeah,
Look.
and they also have like a proven track record of getting their asses kicked until we help. So like, let's get dressed.
Right? She agrees and then feels guilty.
Tom Penn and her mother are just there hearing it.
Well, Tomcat's
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of doing the
we've
same
got-
thing Boogeyman is. He's just sort of slipping his costume like out from under his normal clothes. He reaches down the back of his shirt and comes up with his little cat hood. Starts taking all the rest of it off. Miss Manhattan's costume seems to grow out from under her clothes, and then she takes the clothes off the top of it. But she's got that biotech suit.
Mm-hmm. Legally distinct symbiote.
Kind of.
No, it's bleeding edge technology.
Yeah. Remember, the inside lining is based off, the inside lining of stomachs.
Yeah.
Because the first time Manhattan saw her in it, he was asking her if it had tried to digest her leg or anything. Apparently, that had been an issue with a previous prototype. His suit is doing much the same thing as hers. And then he takes his glasses off. Let's see. OG Karen is like, I guess I'm just going to go home and watch you guys on the news.
You drive safe, okay?
Well, yeah, I live out. Yeah, she points kind of the opposite way of where y'all will be heading. So I should be good. Y'all be safe out there. Karens, look after each other. Earth Mother's looking around like, am I the only one that didn't bring a costume? Tomcat hands her those big shades that he was wearing earlier, and she puts them on. That'd do. And a big chunk of earth forms up under her.
Also, you can like do like a rock armor around kind of thing.
Yeah, I can work on that. Yeah. I've been kind of working on that. Toph made it look so easy.
I could probably like find Landshark's number if you want like a teacher. I hear he's like pretty good at it actually.
He gets kicked out of cities for wrecking them on accident. He needs lessons from me on control.
Not
I meant
not
like
in a
he's-
while.
I meant like he's good at being a teacher because he's like at the okay. I just like kind of like start to walk away like whoopsie.
You have clearly offended her. Hey, this guy that's known for completely losing control of this power, clearly you need lessons from him.
He only lost control when he drowns.
Or gets super emotional. I mean, to be fair, he's got way more raw power at it than she does. But she is very, very proud of her fine control. So for the moment, she's just going into battle on her boulder with the big sunglasses, obscuring the face that her costume doesn't obscure when she's in costume. Though she is pulling her hair back more like she usually wears it.
Mhm.
Wolfus, come on, man.
Let me check one little something. Alright, so y'all head off towards the lake. Power's on payroll. That's the one that need. Yeah. So I had to make sure which Majestic was which. Alright, so y'all streak off towards the trouble. I know some of you are super fast. Some of you can be carried. Earth Mother can expand her boulder to carry anybody else that, that needs quick transport. As you approach the lake shore, yep, definitely a giant robot. Even those of you that aren't particularly techie. Oh, go ahead.
Does it match the videos we saw at the underground giant robot hangar?
Yes, I had forgotten about that, and you even saw some of its spare parts or flawed,
That's right.
reject parts.
We were messing around with one of its leftover hands.
That was this is definitely it. I was going to say it's got the same kind of aesthetics to it that the Majestic armor does, but all that, and then as soon as it comes into view, you hear Majestic 7. Oh, it's the professor. That's he's activated Majestic 13.
Yeah. So, do you think he's mad at us, or?
I'm sure he's upset. But if he was upset enough to lose his temper and just throw a fit, that would have happened immediately. If he's had this long to think about it, no, this is part of some other plan. It might be something he's going to use and squish us in the meantime, just as a bonus. But
It'll also just be a giant look over here kind of deal.
yes, it could. Or he could expect us to think that, so we'd split our party. You know what? It's best not to try to outthink the super geniuses.
Yep. I'm just gonna radio back to Carol, let her know, hey, the Futuro building on lockdown. Nobody in or out.
Oh yeah, it's something up. And oh crap, that's a really big robot.
Yeah.
We're just getting reports in. Our reports say the Detroit Defenders are already engaging.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm getting a video feed. I thought y'all said their speedster was badly injured.
He was. Why?
Oh well, he's in the field now.
Oh. We'll ask about that later.
Roger
His
that.
healing must be as accelerated as the rest of him.
Or they could be like Unison and just be like a whole squad of secret super. It's like a thing.
Anyway, Carol tells you they will. She'll get the flyer in the air. Obviously, Crap, what's the pilot's name again?
Quick
Daryl.
note takers.
Is it Daryl?
Daryl Dobbs.
Daniel
His name's
Dobbs.
Daryl Dobbs.
I think
Oh, Daniel.
I called him Daryl on accident one or two sessions, but it's Daniel Dobbs.
Okay, it's stuck in my memory.
The important thing was the alliteration.
Yeah.
But she'll get him in the air. Obviously, he won't come into the actual battlefield, but he'll be ready to pick you up or evac anybody that needs evacing. You know. All right, so we will wrap here with y'all flying towards Majestic 13. Next session might be the wrap up. More than likely, it'll take 2. You know, unless we just get through stuff super fast next session. So more than likely, next issue is the penultimate issue of Powers on Payroll. So I hope y'all enjoyed today. I wanted to get one more good RP session in before the big finale. Hope anybody that comes by and checks us out later. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you'll join us again in 2 weeks. Again, I was your GM for the day, Jason, and with me has been Taylor as Skater Boy.
See you.
Mike as Whippet.
Good night.
Curtis as the Influencer.
Laters.
And Marigold as the Boogeyman.
Bye bye.
And we will see y'all later.